voltages they use out this way. Ours is a 345, so typically a 345 kV line would have a wider right-of-way, but we can't figure out the actual width of the right-of-way till after we design the line. It's a function of what the spacing of the poles is, what the design of the poles are, to figure out how, because the right-of-way is based on what we call blowout, how far to the, if the wires are just hanging straight down and there's no wind, that's fine. But when the wind blows, the wires swing out, and so we have to look at what the limits of the swing are in each direction, and that's where we figure out what the right-of-way width is.
Gotcha. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You build this with helicopters?
We have the capability to build with helicopters. And,
or would you have to in certain types of areas?
Yeah, depending on, that looks like it's a marshy area,
right.
So certain portions of it will be built by helicopter. I would think certain portions of this project will be built by helicopter as well.
Do you know the comparison of all these, the metal involved in all these towers and stuff compared to building wind generation right here?
Okay. I'm sorry?
The comparison of all the materials involved in building the transmission line compared to building windmills right here. Like how many windmills can you build with one transmission tower equivalent of the metal involved or something?
I couldn't answer that. What the planners can answer for you is, and maybe this is the question that you're asking. What they've studied is, we know, historically speaking, we know what the wind looks like in the state of Wisconsin. How much does the wind blow? How much does the wind not blow? What type of wind power are we able to generate in the state of Wisconsin? And then we know what type of wind power, what type of wind energy they're able to generate in the wind alley out in western Minnesota and the Dakotas. And what they've done is they've actually studied, okay, if I can build some windmills here in Wisconsin, it'll cost me this much money to effectively generate this much power. But if I go out to Minnesota and the Dakotas, well, I can generate this much wind power, and it'll cost me this much money to build the transmission lines to bring it all the way from Minnesota and the Dakotas into Wisconsin. That, according to the planners, I'm not a planner, not a big numbers guy, but according to the calculations that they've done, it's actually less expensive to build the wind farms out west and use transmission lines to bring the power in than it is to build the wind farms in Wisconsin, because it's the efficiency factor associated with, how much the wind blows, what the duration is, how much effective kilowatt hours are they going to get in Wisconsin versus the effective kilowatt hours that they can get by building it in the wind alley.
And the wind alley refers to a real steady compared to
exactly real steady wind. And they have a real nice, I don't think I have a copy of it here, they have a real nice graphic that shows it's a color graphic that shows you the effective wind generation capability out in Dakotas, western Minnesota versus Wisconsin, and there's a lot more wind out there than there is here.
What are these pictures here showing this marsh all dug up and then you have to build a wooden road to get through marsh areas? Or?
I think this is stuff that the contractor brought in just to show examples of
what construction would look like.
This isn't really applicable to this line. This is just basically generic kinds of pictures.
Right.
Correct. But yeah, I mean, that's there may be some situations where if we're in a really marshy area, we may need to use some type of a construction mat, or like I was just talking about with another gentleman, really wet areas. Lately, we're starting to look a lot more at helicopter construction, so that we don't have to do as much disruption of the environment.
Can I get copies of maps like this one, only a small one? Is there something?
These maps?
Yeah.
You should have got one in your. There should be one in your folder, and then your specific map for where you live should have been in your invitation packet.
Great, thank you.
Did you register at the front desk?
Yeah.
I don't see your name tag.
And the little green dots, that's part of that?
I don't see your name tag though.
Thank
you didn't register. Yeah, thank you.
And they're working.
I know.
He said, but they have a second one. Yes, they don't want him to go here because it's scenic area, so they're okay with him coming here and then going down. But then he also said the DNR doesn't want him going. He's trying to buck him from going through here, so that's why they have this route here. And the DNR is proposing that route, and that's what goes by us.
Oh, does this one right here?
That's what he's thought.
Well, hang on. Let's double check it. I guess so. Where's
think it would.
Galesville?
The
Where's
DNR is proposing that?
Yeah, but he said that's not. They don't want to go through the wetlands.
Which this does.
Yes. And he said there's also another route through here too, but they don't want that one either. But he says what right in here is affecting
These
us.
two avoid
Here's your 53.
Right. Oh, I see. Yeah.
I'm not sure where T is on here.
So
We're right
Yeah, we gotta be so.
right on the
And it's gotta be running along us right here somewhere. It's green somewhere.
But here's what he said. When they submitted the application in January,